Filming a wedding ceremony alone can be extremely stressful, especially because you don't get any second takes, but the preparation is the key. I filmed over 200 weddings and I have a step-by-step approach to nail every shot, from the best camera positioning to the most useful lens selection, and of course, the must-have shot list. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button if you're new here and let's get into it. I'm typically filming a ceremony with 3 to 4 cameras, but for this specific example, because more people will typically be shooting a ceremony with 3 cameras, we're using 3 cameras. Starting out with the A cam, I'm using the 24 to 70mm. You can use something equivalent, and this is going to be on a gimbal. This is going to be our roaming camera. It's responsible for filming the bridesmaids entering, the bride coming down the aisle, the father-daughter handover, the center shot, bride's vows, the signing, and the couple's exit. Next up, we have the B cam. This one is super important. I'm using the 70 to 200mm. You can use something equivalent, and this shot is going to be locked off on a tripod. The B cam is your groom reaction camera and your medium shot for the ceremony on the groom side. This camera will be placed off to the side in front of the first row of guests. Now, this is very important because your guests are going to stand to move to try to watch the bride coming down the aisle. You need to place it in a position with enough wiggle room that if a guest does stand and take a few steps forward, it's not going to block this B cam. A pro tip for the groom's reaction camera is to set it at something like f8. Now, a lot of people want to set their camera at 2.8 or 1.8 to get a really nice shallow depth of field. The problem with that is this camera is not going to be manned for when the bride's coming down the aisle, and you want to make sure that you lock focus on the groom. And the best way to do that is to actually create more distance within your focal range by pushing your f-stop to something like f8, even f11 on a really hot, sunny, bright day. And finally, the C cam. Now, this is going to be our safety shot, so you want to up high and wide. I'm using a 20mm. You can use something equivalent, but you want to make sure you have a good quality tripod that extends quite tall, because you want to make sure that if you have a tall guest that's in the ceremony, this camera is looking over their heads. Now, as soon as I arrived to the ceremony, I'm bringing out the Tascam X8. This is the main recorder for the whole ceremony. You're going to need something like a 1/4-inch cord or a female XLR, and this is going to allow you to plug into the celebrant's PA system to get a clean line out. For the backup audio source, I'm using the Sony IC recorder. Now, this thing is, I think, underrated. It is an amazing piece of audio equipment. It attaches to the celebrant's handheld mic to pick up that backup audio. And a quick pro tip, when you do set up your audio sources then and there, the bride will be 10, 15, 20 minutes, if she's running really late away from the ceremony, hit record and just leave it. Trust me. All right, now that our cameras and audio are all set up, let's go over the essential shot list. I thought I would take you a little bit behind the scenes to give you a better idea of how to film a wedding ceremony. And I want to go through the shot list, so the things that are important for every ceremony. So let's jump straight into it. Obviously, we're talking about how to shoot a ceremony with 3 cameras, the A cam, the B cam, and the C cam. But you can see here, I do have a D cam, and on the next page, I also have an E cam. You can absolutely film a ceremony with just an A, B, and C cam. It is absolutely doable. I'm going to show you that in this section here. So let's just start with the shot list. We've got establishing shots. So at the very start of this edit, I've got a drone shot to open up the ceremony edit, followed by some signage, some flowers, more signage and flowers, just showing exactly where this ceremony is and establishing the scene. Some shots of the groom having a laugh with his groomsmen, and back to another wide with the people chilling, waiting for the bridesmaids and whatnot to walk down the aisle. Next up, the celebrant's going to announce the ceremony starting. So as the bride comes down the aisle here, the bridesmaid, you've got the A cam on the bride. The B cam will typically be getting the groom's reaction. Now, as you can see in this shot, we've got a guest and the photographer blocking the shot to the groom. Now, photographer is doing absolutely nothing wrong. He's just doing his job, and the guest is doing what a guest does, viewing the ceremony. So this is something that you got to keep in mind, that having the B cam there, it can get blocked off, which makes me nervous when I'm in a live edit, but that's why having something like a D cam is important, because we can still see the groom's reaction here if we cropped in, but moving forward. So let's head on over to the bride coming down the aisle, which will be around here. So the bride comes around the corner, and again, look at this. B cam opens up, guest moves forward, photographer's out of the way, and we've got a perfect shot of the groom, and we've got the bride coming around the corner. So this is one that you absolutely don't want to miss. A lot of emotion. You can see the bride here just absolutely overwhelmed, and just a beautiful shot here of her looking at her husband-to-be. And if we have a look at over our groom, he is happy as can be. So successful. We had the successful groom reaction shot there, which is amazing. Now, one thing I did want to talk about with the bride coming down the aisle is this shot here, right? So we've got, as you can see in the top left-hand corner, bride comes over hard to my left, and I swing over her shoulder and start getting a shot of the groom. Camera locked onto a guest here, but we will move forward, and you can see that the camera now focuses in on the groom. As the bride goes past me, I get a swooping shot here and make sure I get the groom's reaction coming down the aisle. So this is important because if we miss the shot with the B cam here, say the photographer's standing a little bit more behind and we block that groom shot, we've still got this shot here that we can get with the A cam. So when you're filming a ceremony and you're at the back and the bride comes by, always just remember, you can't see that B cam. So if you can get this over the shoulder shot and get the groom's reaction, absolutely get it, because it was something that we actually used in this edit and I thought it was absolutely fantastic. You can just see how much emotion's there, and it was just, yeah, absolutely stunning. Great shot. All right, another shot that is crucial is the father-daughter handover. So having a look at this, obviously the bride comes down the aisle. We just talked about that. Groom's reaction, absolutely amazing. Look at that. I love that. So much emotion. Bride and the dad will typically have a hug, and then the whole idea is that he's handing her over to the husband-to-be. Amazing moment. And as you can see here, that handshake there is crucial for me. It's one of those shots that I think is absolutely crucial. Would have been nicer if the camera was positioned more to the left so I could see more, but if I position it more to the left, I had less of a chance of getting the groom's reaction. So it is just something that it is what it is. After this shot, the celebrant will typically go on to start talking about the couple's love story, and this is going to give you enough time to go and check on your B&A cam. All right, moving forward, the celebrant will announce the vows. This is great because the way that I've set up these cameras is we've got the A cam getting the bride's reactions and the bride's vows. We've got the B cam getting everything that the celebrant's saying and the groom shot, and then we've got our C cam, which is just a nice wide of the whole scene here. When the groom starts giving his vows, I stay on the bride's side. I know I've already checked in on that B cam. I know that it's situated where the groom is. I know it's in focus. I don't need to check it again. So I'll actually stay on the right-hand side getting the bride's reaction to the groom's vows. All right, the ring exchange. This one's a bit more important for the photographer. I typically will get a center shot. I believe the rings are here. Yeah, so ring shot. I'm not the type to walk right up and get a tight shot of those rings getting exchanged. We know what's going on. I don't need to see the exact ring exchange, but you can see here on the B cam, this picks up one of the groomsmen giving the rings over to the bride and the groom, ready for that ring exchange. Typically what you will see here is the photographer will go a lot closer because they actually want to get a shot of those rings being exchanged. All right, the signing of the register. As you can see, I just have overlaid some B-roll shots here in this part of the film after they've done the ring exchange. And yeah, I mean, pretty straightforward, just some slow-mo shots of the bride and groom signing the register. All right, the first kiss. Now, very, very important. Just make sure you're in the center of the aisle. You can see me somewhere here. And yeah, just make sure you've grabbed that focus. There I am with the photographer. Yeah, make sure you've grabbed focus and you've got the shot. I normally am at about 35 mils here, 35 to 50 mils, and we get that, that kiss shot, which is right here. And I normally cut in from the B cam to the A cam. Absolutely stunning. All three cameras are on it. A cam got the main hero shot. B cam got a little bit of a side shot if you want to mix it up in the highlight film. And obviously the C shot is right there. With the exit, make sure that you're filming at 50 frames or above so that you can slow this down. They come down the aisle and I cut between the A cam and the D cam. If you don't have the D cam, that's fine. You can cut to your C cam. What I do is I follow them right through. Just keep going. Absolutely. Just keep recording. Don't stop. And then I'll pan over and I will get the bridal party walking out as well. It's a nice way of closing out that ceremony. And last but not least, the congratulations, the hugs, the kisses. This is a very underrated moment. This is where everyone is congratulating the bride and the groom. You can get some amazing shots in here with the grandparents, with parents, with friends. A lot of these shots I use in a highlight film. I think it's extremely underrated. If you found this useful, let me know by leaving a comment below. And if you want to see more videos about wedding filmmaking, please let me know by subscribing to this channel and giving this video a thumbs up. And thanks for watching.